Picture yourself standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The waves crash against the shore, each one unique, each one following its own path. Just like those waves, every human life follows its own distinct journey. Some waves reach far up the beach. When are you having kids? How did that question make you feel? Did your heart race a little? Did you feel the need to defend yourself, to explain, to justify? Or maybe you're on the other side. Maybe you have children, and you've caught yourself wondering why others don't make the same choice. Either way, you're exactly where you need to be right now. Let me share something powerful with you. So, like the most profound act of love we can offer this world is being true to ourselves. When we honor our authentic path, we give others permission to do the same. This isn't about being for or against having children. This is about understanding that the tapestry of human experience is rich enough, vast enough, and beautiful enough to embrace different choices. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a garden. In this garden, there are countless varieties of flowers. Some bloom in spring, others in summer. Some reach tall toward the sky, while others spread low across the ground. Would you look at a rose and ask why it isn't a sunflower? Would you judge a cactus for not being a daisy? Of course not. Yet somehow, we've created a world where we expect every human life to follow the same pattern. What if I told you that the choice to not have children can be just as nurturing, just as loving, and just as meaningful as the choice to have them? What if the maternal or paternal instinct that society talks about isn't actually a universal human trait, but rather one of many possible ways to express love and care in this world? So every time you've felt that twinge of doubt about not wanting children, every time you've wondered if something was wrong with you for not feeling that supposedly universal desire, you weren't broken. You were listening to your inner wisdom, that quiet voice that knows your truth better than any social convention ever could. Let's talk about love, not just the love between parent and child, but the vast ocean of love that exists in all its forms. Think about the teacher who dedicates their life to nurturing minds, the aunt who becomes a safe haven for her nieces and nephews, the friend who shows up consistently with open arms and an open heart. Are these expressions of love any less valuable because they don't come wrapped in the package of parenthood? You see, we've been sold a story that says fulfillment comes in one size, one shape, one path. But look around you. Look at the incredible diversity of life on this planet. Nothing in nature suggests that uniformity is the key to meaning or purpose. When you really sit with this truth, something remarkable happens. The pressure begins to lift. The anxiety about what others think starts to fade. You begin to see that your worth isn't measured by your reproduction, but by the love you bring into this world. What does freedom mean to you? Not the kind of freedom that's written about in constitutions or fought over in wars, but the deep personal freedom to be exactly who you are. The freedom to listen to your heart's whispers without drowning them out with society's shouts. This journey we're on together isn't about convincing anyone to not have children. It's about creating space for honest conversation. It's about acknowledging that the path to a meaningful life has many branches, and each one is worthy of respect and celebration. Think about the moments in your life when you felt most alive, most authentic, most truly yourself. Were those moments defined by meeting others' expectations or by being brave enough to honor your own truth? The courage to choose your own path, especially feel your heart beating its own unique rhythm. This is your life, your journey, your truth to honor. In this moment right now, can you give yourself permission to be exactly who you are? Can you embrace the possibility that your path, whether it includes children or not, is exactly right for you? Can you feel the power of that acceptance coursing through your veins? The world doesn't need more people following a script. The world needs people who are alive with purpose, who are living in alignment with their deepest truth. Sometimes that means having children. Sometimes it means choosing a different path entirely. Both choices are sacred. Both choices are valid. Both choices have the power to change the world. You know that quiet moment just before dawn, when the world holds its breath and everything seems possible? That's where we find ourselves now, in a space of infinite possibility, ready to explore deeper truths about the choice that shapes not just one life, but generations to come. Let's talk about something that society often whispers about, but rarely addresses openly: the pressure of inherited trauma. Every one of us carries stories in our bones, patterns in our hearts, wounds that have been passed down like unwanted heirlooms. Some of us have looked deep within and recognized that the most loving choice we can make is to be the one who says, "This chain breaks with me." Think about the last time you held something precious. Maybe a delicate glass ornament or a rare butterfly that landed on your palm. Did you feel that mix of awe and responsibility? That's what life itself asks of us. To handle it with care, to make choices not from obligation, but from a place of deep awareness and respect. Have you ever watched a master craftsperson at work? They know exactly when to apply pressure and when to step back. They understand that creating something beautiful requires not just skill, but the decision to bring a new life into this world demands no less wisdom, no less awareness. Consider the profound truth that some of the most nurturing souls among us have chosen not to have. Their love flows into the world through different channels, through art that heals, through businesses that solve problems, through friendships that save lives, through innovations that protect our planet. Who are we to say that these contributions are any less valuable than bringing new life into the world? Let's pause for a moment and really feel this truth. The capacity to create life doesn't obligate us to do so. Just as having a beautiful singing voice doesn't obligate us to become opera singers, or having strong legs doesn't obligate us to run marathons. Our capabilities are gifts that we get to choose how to use. Think about the oxygen mask on airplanes. Why do they tell us to secure our own before helping others? Because we cannot give what we don't have. We cannot offer stability from a place of chaos, peace from a place of turmoil, or love from a place of obligation. Some of us have recognized that our highest contribution to the world comes from focusing our energy differently than raising children. You might be sitting there thinking about all the times people have told you you'll change your mind, all the times they've said you're being selfish. Let those words float by like clouds in the sky, acknowledged but not absorbed. Your life force, your energy, your love, these are yours to direct. The decision about how to spend the precious currency of your life energy is yours alone to make. What if we could see the choice to not have children for what it truly is? It's not a rejection of life, but a different way of honoring it. What if we could recognize that sometimes the most life-affirming choice is to say, I choose to contribute to the world in other ways. Consider the tree that grows alone on a mountaintop. It doesn't bear as much fruit as its cousins in the valley, but it holds the soil together, provides shelter for passing birds, and stands as a landmark for travelers. Nature shows us again and again that there are many ways to be essential, many ways to contribute to the web of life. Let's talk about the courage it takes to listen to your inner voice when it differs from the chorus around you. Every person who has chosen to be true to themselves rather than conform to expectations has felt that courage stirring in their heart. That courage is sacred. It's the same courage that has moved mountains, sparked revolutions, and transformed societies. Think about the way water moves in a river. Some drops rush straight down the center, while others move along the edges, exploring every curve and crevice. Both are essential to the river's flow. Both are perfect in their own way. Your path, whether it includes parenthood or not, is part of life's perfect flow. Have you ever noticed how some of the most impactful people in history didn't have children of their own? Yet their influence, their love, their contribution continues to touch lives generations later. They understood something profound. Meaning doesn't come from following a prescribed path. It comes from living in alignment with our deepest truth, from contributing our unique gifts to the world, from being fully present in whatever path we choose. Think about all the ways love can manifest in a life. Through mentoring, through creating, through healing, through protecting, through innovating, through simply being a stable, loving presence in an unstable world. The capacity for love and nurturing isn't limited to parenthood. It's a river that can flow in countless directions. When you choose to live your truth, whether that includes children or not, you become a beacon for others. Your courage creates space for their courage. Your authenticity invites their authenticity. Your peace with your choices helps others find peace with theirs. Right now, in this moment, can you feel the power of your own inner knowing? Can you sense the wisdom that has been guiding you all along? That wisdom isn't wrong just because it's leading you on a less traveled path. In fact, some of the most important journeys in human history began with someone willing to walk a new way. Let's dive into the heart of something we rarely discuss. The sacred power of knowing yourself so deeply that you can stand firm in your truth, even when the whole world seems to be pushing against you. The path of self-awareness often leads us to conclusions that others might not understand, and that's perfectly okay. Have you ever watched a bird soaring on thermal currents, effortlessly riding the wind? That bird isn't fighting against nature, it's working in harmony with it. Similarly, when we honor our authentic desires about parenthood, we're not fighting against our nature. We're flowing with our deepest truth. Think about the last time you made a decision that felt absolutely right in your soul, even though others questioned it. Remember that feeling of inner peace? That quiet certainty? That's your inner compass working exactly as it should. When it comes to the decision about having children, that same compass deserves your trust. The world is changing. The old stories about what makes a complete life are crumbling, making way for new understandings of purpose and fulfillment. Just as a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis must trust its new form, we must trust our evolving understanding of what makes a life well lived. Let's talk about the incredible power of choosing. Not choosing by default, not choosing because of pressure, but choosing with full awareness and acceptance of all that choice means. When you consciously choose not to have children, you're not just saying no to parenthood, you're saying yes to a different kind of contribution to the world. Consider the vast tapestry of human potential. Some threads in this tapestry are meant to be parents, weaving new life into the fabric of existence. Other threads are meant to strengthen the whole in different ways, through art, through healing, through teaching, through innovation. No thread is more important than another. Each one is essential to the pattern's completion. Have you noticed how nature never wastes energy? Every plant, every animal fulfills its purpose without trying to be something it's not. A cactus doesn't apologize for not being as leafy as a maple tree. It simply does what it's meant to do, conserving water and surviving in harsh conditions where other plants cannot. Your path, your choice about parenthood is just as natural and necessary. Think about the concept of heritage. We often think of it as passing on our genes, but profound relief that comes with acknowledging that parenthood isn't your calling. That relief isn't selfishness. It's your soul sighing in recognition of its true path. It's your heart saying, "Thank you for finally listening to its whispers." You know those moments when you're completely absorbed in something you love doing? When time seems to stop and you feel totally aligned with your purpose? That's your spirit showing you where your energy is meant to flow. For some, that flow leads to parenthood. For others, it leads to entirely different forms of creation and nurturing. Consider the mighty redwood trees. Not every seed they produce grows into a tree. Nature understands that sustainability isn't about maximizing reproduction. It's about balance, about each element playing its perfect part in the greater whole. Your choice not to have children might be exactly what the world needs from you.
Have you ever thought about how many different ways there are to mother, to father, to nurture? The traditional path of raising children is just one expression of this universal urge to care and contribute. Your nurturing spirit might be meant for other pursuits, healing the earth, mentoring young minds, creating beauty that feeds souls.
Let's talk about the courage it takes to question deeply held societal beliefs. Every time you honor your truth about not wanting children, you're participating in humanity's evolution. You're helping to expand our understanding of what it means to live a meaningful life. Think about how many people have children without ever really choosing it, without deeply questioning if it's their true path. By consciously choosing not to have children, you're showing others that it's possible to think deeply about this decision, to choose consciously rather than conventionally. The energy it takes to raise a child is immense. It's one of the most demanding and all-consuming tasks a human can undertake. If that's not your calling, imagine how much positive impact you could have by directing that same energy toward your true purpose. What problems could you solve? What beauty could you create? What wisdom could you share? Consider the concept of legacy differently. Every act of kindness, every piece of art created, every student mentored, every innovation shared, these are all forms of legacy. They're all ways of passing something valuable to future generations. Your impact on the world isn't limited by whether or not you have children. Let's acknowledge something powerful. The ability to resist immense social pressure and stay true to yourself is a gift to humanity. Every person who lives authentically makes it easier for others to do the same. Your choice about parenthood, made consciously and lived peacefully, creates ripples of permission that touch countless others. Have you ever watched how certain plants thrive in unlikely places? A flower blooming through a crack in concrete doesn't question its path. It simply grows where it's meant to grow. Your life choices, including the choice not to have children, are equally natural, equally right when they come from your truth. Think about the concept of purpose. Society often presents it as a singular path, but purpose is more like a fingerprint uniquely yours, unlike anyone else's. Your purpose might be to create, to heal, to teach, to innovate, to preserve. The possibilities are endless, and none of them require having children to be fulfilled. Let's explore the freedom that comes with full acceptance of your path. When you stop fighting against your truth, when you embrace your choice not to have children is perfectly right for you, an enormous amount of energy is liberated. Energy that can now flow into your true calling, whatever that may be. Let's explore something that touches the very core of our being. The profound difference between solitude and loneliness. Have you noticed how our society often confuses these two states? They'll tell you that not having children means facing a lonely future. But here's a truth that deserves to be spoken. Some of the loneliest people in the world are surrounded by family, while some of the most fulfilled souls have chosen to walk a different path. Think about a garden again. But this time, focus on the space between the plants. That space isn't empty. It's full of possibility. It allows each plant to reach its full potential, to spread its roots and branches exactly as it needs to. Your choice not to have children creates similar space in your life. Space that can be filled with purpose, meaning, and profound connections. The human heart has an infinite capacity for love, but it also has an infinite wisdom about how that love should be expressed. When your heart tells you that your love isn't meant to flow through the channel of parenthood, it's not denying love. It's directing it toward its truest expression. Consider the concept of sacrifice. Society often glorifies the sacrifices parents make for their children. But what about the courage it takes to sacrifice the safety of conformity? The bravery required to stand in your truth when others question your choices. These too are profound forms of sacrifice, made in service of authenticity. Let's talk about something that's rarely acknowledged. The grief that can come with choosing not to have children. Not grief for the choice of running out, but as something precious to be invested wisely. Every moment you're not spending on raising children is a moment you can dedicate to your unique purpose, your particular way of serving the world. Let's explore the power of chosen family. The connections we create not through blood or obligation, but through resonance and choice. These bonds can be just as deep, just as meaningful as any biological connection. Sometimes they're even stronger because they're formed through conscious choice rather than circumstance.
Consider how many great movements, innovations, and works of art have come from people who chose to direct their creative energy away from raising children and toward other forms of contribution. Your choice not to have children might be the very thing that allows you to make your unique mark on the world.
Have you ever noticed how certain choices seem to unlock hidden chambers in your heart? How saying no to one path can unexpectedly open doors to others. The decision not to have children often reveals capabilities and callings that might have remained dormant otherwise. Think about the concept of protection. Not just protecting yourself, but protecting the unborn. Sometimes the most profound act of love is recognizing that the life you could create deserves more than you feel equipped or called to give. This isn't selfishness. It's the height of responsibility.
Let's acknowledge the weight of expectations from family, from friends, from society at large. Feel that weight for a moment. Now feel the lightness that comes with setting it down, with saying, I choose my own path, and I choose it with love and consciousness.
The decision not to have children often comes with an enhanced ability to be present. Without the constant pull of parental responsibilities, you can be fully present for the people and purposes that call to your heart. This presence is a gift to yourself and to the world. Consider the ripple effects of your choice. Every person who lives their truth with courage makes it easier for others to do the same. Your decision not to have children might be the permission someone else needs to examine their own truth about parenthood. Have you noticed how certain choices become clearer with time? How what might have felt like swimming against the current eventually reveals itself as flowing with your own deeper rhythm. The choice not to have children often follows this pattern. Initial resistance followed by profound peace.
Think about the concept of ministry, not in a religious sense, but in terms of how you serve the world. Some people's ministry is raising the next generation. Others are called to serve in different ways. Healing, teaching, creating, protect. Your ministry is no less valuable because it takes a different form.
Let's explore the power of being a witness. Someone who can be fully present for others because your energy isn't divided by the demands of parenthood. This capacity to witness, to hold space, to be there fully for others, is a profound gift that the world desperately needs. The choice not to have children often comes with heightened awareness of other ways to nurture life. Maybe you find yourself drawn to environmental causes, to healing professions, to creative pursuits that feed souls. These aren't compensations for not having children. They're your true calling expressing itself right now in this moment. I want you to feel the power of your own wisdom coursing through your veins, that quiet knowing that has always been there, waiting for you to listen. It's time to honor that wisdom, to let it guide you home to yourself. You know, that feeling when clouds part and sunlight suddenly floods the landscape? That's what happens when we finally accept our truth about parenthood. Everything becomes clearer, brighter, more alive with possibility. The energy we spent wrestling with expectations can now flow into our true purpose. Think about how many times in history humanity has had to expand its understanding of what's normal or right. Every time someone stood in their truth despite social pressure, they helped humanity grow. Your choice about parenthood, lived with consciousness and courage, is part of humanity's growth. Let's talk about something vital. The difference between living life and letting life live through you. When you honor your truth about not wanting children, you're allowing life to express itself through you in its own unique way. You're saying yes to your particular thread in the grand tapestry of existence. Have you ever watched how water finds its own path? It doesn't fight against the landscape. It flows where it's meant to flow, creating beauty and sustaining life along whatever path it takes. Your life force is like that water. Trust it to know its own way. Consider the profound responsibility of choice. Every conscious choice not to have children holds within it an equal measure of respect. Respect for the depth of parenthood, respect for the lives that would be affected, respect for your own truth. This is not choosing from fear or avoidance, but from wisdom and love. The world needs whole people, people who have the courage to be who they truly are. Sometimes that means choosing a path that others don't understand. Your wholeness, your truth about parenthood is a gift to the world, even if not everyone can see it yet. Think about the concept of success differently. Success isn't about checking boxes on society's list. It's about having the courage to write your own list. Your choice about parenthood is part of writing your own definition of a life well lived. Let's acknowledge something powerful. The choice not to have children often comes with a heightened sense of responsibility to contribute to the world in other ways. This isn't compensation, it's consciousness. It's understanding that every life has its own way of adding to the human story. The depth of your impact on the world isn't measured by whether you have children. It's measured by how fully you live your truth. Every time you honor your authentic path, you create ripples of possibility that touch countless lives in ways you might never. Have you noticed how certain choices feel like coming home to yourself? That's what happens when we stop trying to fit into someone else's story and start living our own. Your choice about parenthood, when it comes from your truth, feels like that kind of homecoming. Consider the legacy of love differently. Love isn't just passed down through genetics. It's passed through every life we touch, every heart we open, every mind we inspire. Your capacity to love and nurture finds its own unique expression, perfect in its own way. The choice not to have children isn't an ending. It's a beginning. It's the start of living in deeper alignment with your truth. It's saying yes to your particular way of bringing light into the world.
Let's talk about fulfillment. True fulfillment doesn't come from meeting external expectations. It comes from living in harmony with your inner wisdom. When your choice about parenthood aligns with that wisdom, you open the door to profound fulfillment.
Think about the concept of purpose as a river with many tributaries. Some tributaries lead to parenthood, others lead to different forms of creation and contribution. All are part of the same river of life. All are equally valid. The world doesn't need more people living lives of quiet desperation, trying to fit into roles that don't match their souls. The world needs people living with courage. As we come to the close of our time together, I want you to feel the strength that comes with standing in your truth. Feel the power of choosing consciously. Feel the peace of knowing that your path, whether it includes children or not, is exactly right. Remember, you're not alone on this path. Throughout history, countless souls have chosen to contribute to life in ways that didn't include having children. Your choice places you in the company of some of humanity's most impactful contributors. This journey of living true to yourself, of honoring your wisdom about parenthood, is one of the most important gifts you can give to the world. Because when you live your truth with courage and love, you light the way for others to do the same. Let this moment be a turning point. Let it be the moment when you fully embrace your path, when you let go of any remaining shame or doubt about your choice. Let it be the moment when you claim your right to live according to your own inner wisdom.
You are exactly as you should be. Your choice is perfect for you, and the world is better because you have the courage to live your truth.